It's just after 10 o'clock in the morning and the head of the Metropolitan Police's security operation has just gone over there into Portcullis House for a meeting with the climate protesters. Today is the day when all the preparations are coming together.
After a 45-minute meeting with environmental protesters, the top Met Police team emerged, albeit needing a little help.
Commander, can you be sure there won't be any violence tomorrow? It's Richard Watson from BBC Newsnight. Do you think violence can be avoided?
I think this isn't the right way to do this, Jess. I think you need to make, some sort of appointment to talk to the spokesperson. So
he'd been meeting with the Climate Camp Group, which is planning direct action over the coming days. They've been brought together by a Liberal Democrat MP.
Well, the climate camp was the focus of my meeting, and I was very, very clear in my own mind the climate camp is a peaceful protest. And I think the police now accept that the climate camp is a peaceful protest. There weren't any other groups represented there, and I have no information about what they will be doing or saying.
So who are these other groups and what threat do they pose? A police commander confirmed the latest assessment this afternoon.
What we are looking for is those people to come out and exercise their free democratic right. What we don't want to see is people that want to hijack any of those sort of demonstrations. We're picking up things, as many other people are, on the internet, where some people are talking about actually coming to London to commit acts of crime and disorder. They will be dealt with in a totally different way by the Metropolitan Police Service over the next couple of days.
What's striking about these protests, which started at the weekend, is the sheer diversity of groups and their demands, but all united against a common enemy, the government and global capitalism.
Tomorrow, we are not protesting. We are overthrowing the government.
We're marching because we have to get the troops out of Iraq and Afghanistan, and we have to end the siege of Gaza.
I'm going to be taking direct action tomorrow, which is Fossil Fuels Day, because the climate is in an emergency. It's up to us, the people on the ground, to sort it out, not the people at the top, because they aren't able to do it. The systems can't sort it out. Capitalism is collapsing. We can come in now and make a better world.
It's for the revolution. The people are taking their power back. We're going to get self-organised and we're going to sort out this sorry mess that the politicians got us into. And we, together, are going to get ourselves out of it.
It wasn't Gordon Brown, it wasn't George Bush, because Gordon Brown and George Bush and Obama are just actually puppets.
Getting into the spirit of things today at the Bank of England, where a small vanguard of campaigners gathered.
I live with Mother Nature, but now I live in this polluted world.
Well, it's a clear sign that they're expecting some kind of trouble here in the city at Bank. They're actually physically removing these benches to stop the protesters hurling them around. What's the threat level about tomorrow, do you think?
Well, I think there will be some non-violent protests resulting in disruption to traffic and the like, and there will be some violence as well. However, I don't think it will be as big, as large scale as some media reports suggest, and also as some of the organisers themselves have suggested.
Some advice to city workers seemed a tad strange, dressing down and no red braces. But this man was not going to be intimidated.
So in no sense will you allow this protest to stop you coming to work?
I shall try not to. In the same way that when the IRA bombed the city, it didn't stop me coming into work either.
Disparate groups of protesters have been gathering here to plan what they're calling the G20 meltdown at this pub-cum-art centre in London's East End.
We need to do a hell of a lot more to fight the suffering and injustice in the world and put pressure on world leaders and everyone to create a reformed society, create changes, create a new society that doesn't exploit the third world and doesn't cause environmental catastrophes like climate change.
If the demonstrators take it upon themselves to, let's say, smash every window in the Bank of England, is that something you would support or denounce?
Well, I expect in the moment I might get carried away in revolutionary fervour. I might do, it has to be said. What my dream is, we have some rainforest polyphonic singing, but where I would like to hear that singing would be inside the bank vaults at the Bank of England.
A security source told Newsnight that anarchists from Europe pose the biggest threat if they join the demonstrators. This British university professor may be playing the fool, but he's considered dangerous over here and has been suspended for wearing an Eat the Bankers placard.
Apparently they don't have a sense of humour. They seem to have imagined that Chris Knight, when he's feeling a bit peckish and could just get a sandwich from the nearest sandwich bar, instead grabs the nearest banker and begins to munch his legs.
He's got some pretty wild plans for the Bank of England too.
At the moment, the Bank of England is a rather sleazy place, all kinds of, rather unpleasant activities happening there, pretty corrupt, and it's bringing down the sort of moral tone of the neighbourhood, probably lowering the property values in the area as well. So we've thought that it would be an improvement to turn it into a brothel.
Far-fetched for sure, but the police at the control centre in South London will be carefully monitoring any signs of protesters attempting to break into buildings, which has been flagged on the internet.